What we see, the latest developments coming in is that the ED there clearly stating that there has been some kind of understanding between KCR's daughter Kavitha and Manish Sisodia, and that understanding has led to this deal of the company Indo Spirits, which we believe that Kavitha is a shadow owner. In fact, Arun Pillai and another partner, both of them hold 65% stake, and largely it's Kavitha's frontmen itself. So Kavitha controlling that stake through them. So that company, Indo Spirits, wanting to get a liquor license and control close to 30% of Delhi's liquor business. And this was the link that Vijay Nair established between Kavitha and Manish Sisodia. They had great understanding, both the leaders, and decided to pull off this the policy itself in favor of the South cartel. This is what the ED is now, we believe, presenting in court, evoking Kavitha and Sisodia's understanding before this deal was struck. Tell us more on how much of an influence these arguments of the ED will have on court while they ask for his 10-day custody.
Well, Nabila, all of that will depend on how exactly does the ED now inform the court what they need Sisodia's custodial interrogation for. Remember, they have been citing the evidence and the statements given by various co-accused and various witnesses. They've cited Buchi Babu Gorantla, they've cited Vijay Nair's statement, they're talking about Manish Arora's statement, who's a restaurant owner. They're talking about several, Dinesh Arora's statement, where who has become who has turned and become prosecution's witness. So they have said that Dinesh Arora in his statement had very clearly said that he was orchestrating payment of kickbacks, etc., that he was in touch with Sanjay Singh, he was in touch with Manish Sisodia, that he had been told that the Aam Aadmi Party needs funding because elections are coming up, and therefore this Arora statement also becomes very, very important. Now the ED will have to now explain to the court why, when they already have these statements or these witnesses, they need Sisodia's custodial interrogation. Most likely the Enforcement Directorate is going to argue that because these witnesses have said all of these things, because these statements have come, because the excise policy documents are there, because Sisodia's own secretary has made statements to the ED and CBI, they may say that the ED will need to confront Sisodia face to face, either with the co-accused or with the witness statements regarding his role in this entire conspiracy. That is likely to be the line of argument that the ED will take as the arguments are ongoing there. But right now, the ED is building its case. The ED has not yet come to the crux of its matter or to the crux of its demand for a 10-day custody. But it is very clear that the ED is building to that point, that we have so much in evidence, so many witness statements, that we will need to interrogate Mr. Sisodia with regard to every single document, with regard to every single witness statement. Now, my colleague Kanu is also sending us further updates on this. What they're saying is that the role in getting the L1 license cleared for Indo Spirits, and again we're going back to the issue of Indo Spirits, role of Kavitha and the political understanding allegations that have been raised by the ED. They are saying that the ED is saying that Manish Sisodia had a direct role in getting the file of Indo Spirit cleared and getting them an L1 license, which again ties back to this larger framework of kickbacks and political understanding that the ED has been building for the last several minutes as the arguments are going on. But it will be very, very crucial to see how the court is going to look at all of these arguments. If the documentation, if the witness statements are already there, then of course Sisodia's lawyers can very well argue that if you have all of these documents, if you have all of these witnesses, why do you need Sisodia to sit in your office and answer your questions? He has already answered your questions. A second line of argument, of course, from Sisodia's lawyers could be that the ED will simply, and this is something that they said in the CBI case also, that the ED is simply going to be mentally harassing him by asking him repeated questions, even though they already have all the documentation, all the witness statements in hand. However, for the Enforcement Directorate, as they are building the case the way we are, that the way we've seen in the last half an hour, when they're going very methodically, witness by witness, statement by statement, evidence by evidence, it is quite clear that they are building up to trying to justify why they need Sisodia, why they may need to confront Sisodia with every single piece of evidence, with every single witness, and then take his statement with regard to that. But of course, on the other side, Sisodia's lawyers may very well argue that when this kind of evidence exists, Sisodia under the law of India cannot be forced into confessing or accepting his guilt. That is going to be their line of argument most likely. But right now we are seeing that the ED is building its case, saying that Sisodia was directly involved in getting the Indo-Spirit file cleared up, that the license was granted in fact. And this is an argument that they've made in the Vijay Nair remand as well, in the remand application of other excise officials and others as well, that the L1 license, and I'm reading out what my colleague Srishti has sent out here, that the L1 license was granted at night in November and final allocation was done on the 8th of November. A jet of speed clearance for this application comes and is approved within a matter of 3 days, and the license is allotted. And that is where both the CBI and the ED have been saying that this was done because there were kickbacks, because there was a conspiracy, because there was a direct role of the senior leaders involved. And that is the framework that we see is being built up by the Enforcement Directorate. Now they're also talking about the witness statements given by other persons, including Dinesh Arora, who has become an approver in this case. Remember, Dinesh Arora is a businessman who also who also profited from this entire conspiracy but has now become an approver in the case. Now, Dinesh Arora's statement has been a very crucial piece of evidence for the Enforcement Directorate throughout, whether it was other people accused, whether it was which lines or avenues of investigation to undergo, and now in the Manish Sisodia arrest as well, that the ED is claiming that Dinesh Arora in his statement has revealed that when his file was stuck at the SI's office, he approached Vijay Nair, and Vijay Nair, with the help of Mr. Arvind, helped him get the file cleared at 10 p.m. So they are also saying that they are looking at as we've been talking about, building this case gradually against Manish Sisodia and other senior leaders. The ED is saying that this was a vehicle, the L1 license allocation was the vehicle to get kickbacks. If these people were not granted the L1 licenses, then they would not have been able to funnel money back to the Aam Aadmi Party leaders and to Vijay Nair. That is the allegation now being raised by the ED. And to get back to the question that you asked just a few minutes ago, that what are the grounds on which, why the ED is asking for custodial interrogation, what are the grounds on which they are claiming that there was money laundering. Now we have come finally to those points in the argument where the ED is saying that the grant of L1 licenses and clearing files in a hurry was part of the same transaction, because their kickbacks came via these channels. The kickbacks came via the L1 license holders who have been investigated by the Enforcement Directorate and by the CBI in all of these weeks that this entire controversy has been playing out. They're saying that this L1 license was the vehicle to get kickbacks, and therefore they had to get it done.
Right.